Mr. Lynch likes or will be live forever. Good morning, messo sempre, messo sempre. More simple, more simply, 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 more simply. No, it's March 16, so more than 15 days. It's March 6, 2026. It's Monday in Naples today. At the moment, it's middle. Sky is absolutely from mid, it's a good variable. In fact, sunny will clear this catastrofe alternatives with or to cloudy or with the yes, with the cloudy or cloudy days catastrofe in general, in fact, or vice versa. And there is also no, at the moment also seems still now. If at the same time so wide the golden day consider perhaps more even course journey is one, so to see is vice versa. In fact, this is one so full at the same time so is one it's area meter 22 minutes 64 for the finality team Celsius in this really cool like in this period. Even if let's say that in last 20-25 days is more or less is a early daylight spring, but an early spring atmosphere. Of course, we are really close to spring. So we're planning 4 days of BSS. In fact, on next Friday, 20th, at BSS in Italy on 10:01 a.m. Yes, at the same time, it's still cold. In fact, cold is catchy. In fact, cold is catchy for winter periods of support for the security effect, specialmente nel fuori stazione 17, so fact we come through as the parts as pastor Sam is sono in for the specific finker boy. Also fact we come them as card you now for the winter coming out to be on December 21 in particular 16 and 4 p.m. in Italy. Whereas apps on numero di finker boy so buono cioè suppose di I'm sure at twice the things the same. But the society sometimes pose activation to change is better than perhaps for me. I industry and television sulle spinghe a minuto, si fa con spinghe su viaggi software, summary HT8 for the auto once again the software sostanze in general for the systems to be the security. Security di satisfazione del certificate ne fingo tu da su del copy better no così ripeto su internet fully complete should complete but when I see the sentence absolutely very complete I'm referring obviously for to me perhaps particularly for this video to effect for the vector in fil code better fil colessa dal pivot access series of access a forma di senza news which is stato fare call nel caso di winter period winter poi per spirio genere I will sweat a comment which in comment and one of my comments I had another part which I can speak about is practice music is about the first part of the content the first comment with an asterisk so someone says no the practice try to practice in case in this year repeat the first part of the comment or the first comment with an asterisk then forse sarà più ovviamente finché non ti rispecchi il culo non è finché adesso no si penso da me finché 90 forse sempre il culo o è in genere for me what's good instead about scatostat sbagliato I don't know perché se sembra che sto in it's good not completely perché non mi fa ma finito mi sa ingeri finché tra in pratica ti servizi si fuori si fuori ti in Celsius l'importante in questa atmosfera sta ci vedi se fuori vedi se si portiamo su un delle corte in genere mi diventa mi ci usiamo surf perché se poi fa anche sostanze nella vita there is a scatosphere I really would say to have those blue skies on the shot it's not correct because in fact there are also these clouds Praktisch Simons notadas simile more cloudy. En så consider not think of last day, better perhaps last week, so consider with reading the sensations, everything I think it's possible. I'm not sure that late afternoon, so it's really early afternoon, might begin, but if I think totally cloudy, if not dark and big, generally say totally cloudy, and also that might think not a few months, like late I think we are close. Als se così utile happens, ma da so sind ob studenti van so bizarre, si pot lì mix che come skip lì e chi ha. So well bad perhaps better si ricontra bad well well also maximum total good but bad maximum total good angela well bad counter bad well bad in absolute so si so mi dico quindi noi attivati in frase anche frase mix France si non corte in sesta vabbè one getting so non so birthday the best particular the birthday the not for the so nice it was the beautiful great curtain beautiful painted way benches but we prende passi fa che sono preso sul curtain non things di mette si so che one read one comments come section should be point third first comment al first comment one non si come section non if you can see not that well since shot near me in free think this sì, di Flowers, language flowers, mixed instruments. I don't know, in fact, if not, even better, should be better, sai shot Vegas, first part of the video, which Varusha should you better scatter, strange scazzo, mi dico quindi scazzo come room, io sarà absolutamente giusto mi dico quindi era mica room. Ora fra blur perspective, also from this place, shot simulator, classico shot film, non intersi col fatto mi sticker in un modo se tu yes should be one of the two very front giuri non intersi col for the previous curtain repeat beautiful grey curtain beautiful painted with benches perhaps for the first thing is to the boards caro curtain infantry max activise surely caro curtain still in cover image dicendo quando è solamente amici vicino e questo thing this shot is related to the fact ma fu un recent che shooter non so un recent ma uno dei così effettivamente measure now si read a little speech or sentence usually for the script repeat usually recording will intermatch the option given for the sister state so the words I get a recording option given into map exactly now option given so read also in recording so repeat expression also in given for 4 times and so when is little speech or sentence it is but also always better visible for me its entity in its shot si può mythical legend shot Riccardo Green, le shooter mi utilizzo effettivamente come utilizzo nel festival. A struttura si porta sul di utilizzo, nasce red with a speech sense for the culture sovriti, so far also sovriti, ripeto once again, but also and always better visible for me, its entity, its short responsibility for the shot. And finally, the mythical keyboard, NGX 640, APG 625, also in the case of being a Gen shot. And since a few days, let's a few weeks, yes, since a few weeks also from a short film fact on John 24, to which you can see the actual condition better. The actual condition of the keyboard better actual condition since December 2nd, 2024, and to which since that day, practically the main problem factory is no light on the display. Because also other little problems about another little problem, but the main problem is if it's factory is no light on the display. To one design internet to fix it. Yeah, getting the people of the parts feeding it well. So, but also myself, but also biscuits. And finally, I hope you will get breakfast. Lates, late in general, also nice for me to me for think the maybe the last time that you are fact that Turkish Pakistan is eating in general for the people or for the people in the bowl for my but not at all for my house for my second or posso for my perché per self but the cities between December January less in February SM was in 6 months in April until once again next December January at the same time it's but bowol in parts it's very good record which is to certain fact next internet symmetry stabilità but think in at the internet parte mettere was essere think regoli sia cosa mettere su straccio to repeat or to close the career to some nice but almeno more than the yes just for that just thoroughly obviously just in good at 13 20 22 minutes at important English to say remember settings and we also be fortunate to so a million and as you will see breakfast and most beautiful grass food absolutely and as you know since more than mania this month should be more than mania I also lost the count in English the effect of the laser but on Friday but also when I speak about breakfast as regard the laser this month is a new laser 6 nostro depots in the beautiful blue dark blue and also white as in fact for the color system was only for one but also for one was blue and white but it is a light blue and for other aspects the first one and second nostro report and as regard the time I think I've been using it since a week of 15 if not 15 14 Fridays ago and as regard the time I think I've been using it in since the week of not 14 15 Friday ago one of them and yes all things that perhaps non if you follow me in particular Friends with reports think about so no one which any other my video with reports and yes where my repeat this should be done ma televisione one day to year 20 one time so vediamo c'è pezzo per presidente di c'è stato il sito di Signals di speech and will show to you the reason Friday and for example non c'è solo bisogno di cercare tutto quanto mormoni ma se non sono frezzata biscuits sarà mai fatto fa drammi come se biscuits si è fatto che trovano messo per pescare tabs biscuits chocolate chip cookies or the cookies chip chocolate chips and fatto per questo fatto biscuit miselincio but in particular things they would say and this is one about the milk fact the two shots to elegance di coffee per esempio tu sono quick shot con sostanze the shot fragmenti video se shot ne ogni classe finché ti mangi se si chiesa lo stesso conto should be instant video non ci può sapere lo small is quick finisce down di 1.27 finché 287 83 so si chiese pratically start for some of these days the month mentioned before it should be 8 months si chiese lo stesso conto should be this 20 video non ci penso better and so since the month 3 pattern insert dit once again in milk over news and we say effect ni cosa back fast questa bomba sapere in particolare me e forse che sta video gioco questo tu molto amore ma io so forse mi finto first time so ti video mi finza poi so che tool ni cosa back fast allora è mega bomba second thing is what is fact in Fabius essere come tra il sias per starsi per position ma perhaps so at face space casa quello di band face space position ma c'è quel space position because altra face space position per me da time per match ciò ci pensi far boys altro come nazio because they are really super bad. Sì, tomorrow is supposed to be on telephone, non ti sono molto con l'ep. Mais ouais, si.